What's up, guys? Welcome back to Crew Farang. And if you are wondering how much you can make in Thailand, then this is the video for you, because I am going to break down everything when it comes to government schools, private and bilingual schools, and international schools. I'm going to talk about the salary, the requirements, the expectations, and the pros and cons of working at each school. So let's get into it. Yes, you can make good money working in Thailand. However, people do not come and teach in Thailand for the money. They come here for the lifestyle. Now, the reason I say that is because people can easily go to places like China with a random degree and zero experience and be making the equivalent of 80,000 baht. Now, to make that money in Thailand, you are going to need a lot more requirements and they are going to be expecting more also. So if you want money, if your goal is to move abroad to make as much money as possible, chase the oil. But if your heart is on Thailand, and understandably so, and you're just wondering about your options and how much you can possibly make, then stick around to find out more. So a government school salary is typically around 35,000 baht, and that's usually for 11 months. So you will be able to save between 7 and 10,000 baht. Now, it's an international school, especially a large international school. You can easily be saving upwards of 50,000 baht per month. Now, this does all boil down to your lifestyle. If you're making 80,000 baht in Bangkok at a big international school, but you've got an expensive apartment, you're going out partying on the weekends, and you're spending a lot of money, living a baller lifestyle, then that 80,000 is going to drain quickly. But if you are making 40,000 baht and you are living in a humble apartment, you are eating Thai food instead of Western food, then that money is obviously going to stretch and you'll be able to save money. So it all comes down to your lifestyle in the end. So the minimum requirements to get a work permit is a degree in any field. But if you want to make more money, then the requirements are going to change. Yes, an education degree or a recognized teaching qualification such as a PGCE is going to be the deciding factor as to if you can make the big money here in Thailand or not. Now, Bangkok offers the largest salaries, but it also tends to be the most expensive. So if you live somewhere like Chiang Mai, your salary is going to be less, but also your cost of living is going to be less. So at the end of the month, it balances about the same. So for best work-life balance, I would recommend bilingual or private school, because once you have finished, just like a government school, once you have finished, that is it, your day is over. But as an international school, there are going to be requirements to do extracurricular activities, attend meetings, speak to parents, etc. And at a government school, you tend to start earlier and finish later. So best work-life balance, private or bilingual school. Now, with those key questions answered, let's have a look at where a lot of teachers start, which is the government school. Now, this is the backbone of the education system, and it can give you the most authentic experience here in Thailand. The salary range is the lowest on the list. You are going to be making typically 30 to 45,000 baht per month, and that's usually for 11 months. It is going to be more common to work for 35,000 baht per month for 11 months. Now, the requirements are simple. you need a bachelor's degree in any field. And although 120-hour TEFL certificate uh, is highly recommended, I've never been asked for mine. People say you see these advertised online all the time, saying about the degree and then the TEFL qualification. I've never been asked for mine, so I would take that with a pinch of salt. It may change in the future, who knows, but a degree in any field is definitely the requirement for a work permit and to work in a government school. Now, your teaching load is going to be typically 20 to 25 periods per week, and this range of students in your class is going to be 40 to 50 students per class. Now, your main job here is just to be a friendly face for the students to speak to and to practice their English. And I have been told when I actually applied for a government school is to not be upset if the students don't learn anything. They said if they learn something, great, but if they don't, they don't. Because they are going to be learning English around 4 hours per week. And then after that, all their other subjects are in Thai. When they go play with their friends, they're speaking in Thai. When they go home, they are speaking in Thai. They are not practicing English. So the requirements for those, or the expectations for those students to be speaking English, is a lot less. The lifestyle is going to be a lot more chilled out, but that's why the salary is less also. Now let's look at the pros and the cons of working in a government school. Now you're going to have longer holidays, but you are also going to have longer days at work. In a private or an international school, your day would typically be 8 a.m. till 4 p.m. or 8 a.m. till 4:30 p.m. At a government school, it tends to be 7:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. You'll be one of the only foreign teachers which will be forcing you to get immersed in the culture and the language. But the classrooms are going to have limited resources. They are probably going to have chalkboards. They may have a small TV that you can use to show videos or show like the books that you could be working with, or maybe a pull-down projector. But you might not even have an AC unit. It will probably be fans in the classroom. Now, outside of the class, your admin is going to be minimal. I highly doubt you will be asked to hand in lesson plans. You are simply there just to speak to the students and do conversational classes and correct their pronunciation. Now, due to it being very relaxed, the paperwork, scheduling, and curriculum may be a bit disorganized in these schools. Next, let's look at a private or bilingual school that can give you a raise in salary and resources. Now, this is where you see your first salary bump. Your salary can range from 35,000 up to 60 to 70,000 baht per month. Now, that's due to the parents actually paying for these schools and having bilingual programs at these schools. So the requirements are going to be the same. You're still going to need a degree in any field, but you are going to be expected to have results. So when there are tests, the school, the parents are going to expect more results than what you would get at a government school. Now, while they are legally allowed to hire non-native English speakers, these schools tend to hire native English speakers, and that's where they can justify like asking the parents for the money that they do. Now, the expectations shift dramatically. You are no longer just a speaker, you are now a teacher. And this means active lesson planning. So, most of these schools, you are going to be doing lesson plans, you are going to be handing them in to management. The class sizes tend to be smaller. These are going to be 25 to 30 students per class, and the parents may be involved. Sometimes they are not, but typically they are, and they are going to want to see results. Now, these classrooms are going to be more modern. Instead of fans, you will have AC units. Instead of chalkboards, you will probably have whiteboards, and you will have a projector there, usually a pull down projector. Now, I worked at a bilingual school for my first job, and I still did not need to hand in any lesson plans, and I didn't need to do any duties either or speak to the parents. Now, there is a better saving potential at these schools. It could be 10 to 25,000 baht per month that you could save. However, your holidays tend to be slightly less. Now, this doesn't happen in all of the private and bilingual schools. It did not happen in the bilingual school that I worked at, but you may have development opportunities and career progression in these schools. So maybe in the future you might be able to work your way into management. And like I said, this does not happen in all of them, but at government schools, there is no way you are going to be progressing into management. You are a teacher, that's all you are ever going to be. Now, the trade off for this is there are going to be more pressure from management. They are going to want you to deliver better academic results. Ultimately, if you have a degree and a TEFL certificate, then a bilingual or a private school may be the sweet spot for you. It pays well and they treat you as a professional. Now, this is a bit of a strange one, the international schools, because if you are working in a less tourist hotspot, in a smaller international school, they may not ask you for a degree, a education degree or a teaching degree. They are going to simply let you work there just with a degree and a TEFL. But because of that, because it's smaller and because there is less competition in these non-tourist hotspots, the more rural places, the salary is also less. So you would be looking at around 60,000 baht per month at one of these international schools. But if you get your way into one of the big international schools in Bangkok, then you could be looking at over 100,000 baht per month. Now, don't get it confused. You are not going to just walk into one of the international schools and be making 140,000 baht. The highest salary I have seen online was 90,000 baht, and that was for a very specific science degree. So I have spoken to people and I have spoken to friends who know a lot about international schools and how to get the high salaries, and they have told me that you need to get into one of the big ones and make a starting salary of 80,000 baht. And then as you stay there in the school, as you stay longer, you can negotiate a higher and higher salary. Now, the reason they offer these higher salaries is because they want somebody who is going to be contributing to the school immediately. They don't want somebody who they need to train up. They don't want somebody who is going to be taking 3 or 4 months to get into the swing of things. They want somebody who's going to go in there and make a difference immediately and give results to that school from day one. Now, you are going to be expected to attend meetings, to attend extracurricular activities outside of school. You may do plays with the students. So at my international school, we did a play and we had to keep the students after school to practice. And then on the Friday of the play, we turned up at 7:30 a.m. to practice, get everything ready, and we were there until 7:30 p.m. We have also done sports competitions with other schools, and that has been on a weekend. Now, I know this doesn't happen all the time, it isn't that frequent, but you are going to be working outside of school hours. Now, this is why I said the work-life balance is different. Now, there are exceptional saving opportunities at these international schools. You can easily be saving upwards of 50,000 bahts per month. The trade off, however, is that workload, is the expectations, is the admin. You are going to be having people watching you and making sure you are giving results. Now, there is going to be world-class facilities in these schools. You may have smart TVs in these schools, and the support is going to be a lot better also. If you want any equipment, you can ask the school, they are going to get it for you. That is not necessarily going to happen in a private or bilingual school or at a government school. But there is going to be higher scrutiny. Your performance is constantly evaluated by administration, and parents. They are going to be looking at you for results. Now, international schools do give you the best opportunities for career progression. If you want to make your way into management, if you want to be head of departments, like head of academics, for example, then this is the place to be. Now, whilst paid, the holidays may be less, especially if you are in management. You'll probably be coming in during holidays to come up with plans about the next academic year. Now, to sum up, your journey usually starts in a government school or a bilingual school, and then you might make your way up to international schools and making big money. But that isn't for everyone. I know people here in Thailand who have a lot of experience and they are not interested in going to international schools. They are happy being in government schools. They want somewhere with a relaxed lifestyle. They're not worried about the salary. They're happy with the income they have. They want a really good work-life balance and just to have a relaxed lifestyle. And I know some people who have left international schools to go into more relaxed private schools or bilingual schools. And when I asked them why they moved, like was it too much pressure, etc., they simply said they wanted better work-life balance. They wanted to focus their energy on their family rather than their career progression. So they have moved into a private school just to spend more energy on their family. And then in the future, they may jump back into an international school to put more energy into their career and to be making more money. So this all boils down to what you are looking for, what sort of lifestyle and where you are in life, really. So tell me in the comments what school you are going to be looking at first, maybe any questions you have about different schools. And if you like this, don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.